Hey. So in this video today, I'm going to be talking about hormones and migraines, why hormonal migraines happen and what you can do about them. If you've just arrived at my channel and don't already know me, I'm Jackie Grant, the founder of We Grant Fitness and Health and your healthy hormone lifestyle advocate. Please subscribe to my channel with a button and like my channel. I know that from my clients that hormonal migraines can be debilitating. Some suffer from it. It can affect their eyes, their jaws, being able to see properly, and more. And did you know that migraines globally are the third in line in the disabilities? Third in line under depression and back pain. And 1 in 4 women can get it worldwide. And women usually suffer from it between the ages of 25 to 55. So, what are the main drivers for a migraine? Well, a hormonal migraine is generally hormones, but it's also a neurological event in the brain. And there are things that trigger it, which we'll go into in a bit. There's not a huge amount of, pharmaceuticals that can stop it. For instance, taking painkillers, ibuprofen, generally, like I said, someone ends up sitting in the dark, and wanting a complete silence. So what happens to the brain? Well, the brain becomes flooded and irritated by chemicals, some problastines. These are chemicals that are linked to period cramps, and they can have effects on the brain. So women who have menstrual cramps are definitely on the radar when it comes to hormonal migraines. These inflammatory chemicals that are produced in the brain can affect different parts of the brain. Ultimately, the brain doesn't like change. It likes consistent day-to-day stability. It enjoys you going to sleep the right time, getting up the right time. It enjoys that you're not getting your blood sugars up and down, and all those things and more can impact on whether you have one or not. Start off with looking at blood sugar, because blood sugar has a real big impact when it comes to hormonal migraines. So if you're someone that tends to eat irregularly, your patterns of eating, you might skip breakfast, have late lunch, have a late dinner, which can lead to a dip and spike in your blood sugar levels. Now, you may find that, late in the night or something, you become sluggish and then you just reach for a caffeine, which may then bring you into a roller coaster when it comes to blood sugar. So it's really important to look at your eating patterns and try to get in a stable eating pattern on a daily basis. Now, some people are triggered by specific foods, and these foods can lead to a hormonal migraine. So things like chocolate, citrus, and cheese. But those things can change over a person's lifetime, like any foods, really. Sometimes you can be eating something and it doesn't no longer impact on you. So, you might have a sensitivity to something else when you're young, and when you get older, it doesn't seem to bother you anymore. So, these things change over time. So, things like changes in smell, biometric pressure, the weather outside, some people can find that that can trigger off a hormonal migraine. But when we talk about some exercises that can impact on it, running can be one that impact on some people and not others. So the pounding of your feet on the pavement can actually impact on someone whether they have a hormonal migraine or not. So others, it can be they are completely fine. It does not trigger off a migraine. So there's not one universal thing for each individual person. Everyone needs to find out what is the impact for them. Sleep can have a real huge impact on migraines. So if you get too little sleep, not enough, or your sleep pattern varies, if you are working across time zones, so if, for instance, you're in London and you work across over, say, in New York, and you get a plane over those time zones, those can actually impact on whether you got a migraine or not. But also, if you decide that, oh, okay, I'm going to catch up on my sleep over the weekend, that can also start off a migraine. Shift worked can do that as well. So if you're working over different shift times on a weekly basis, and some people don't actually realize that it might be a hormonal migraine and might just think that it's because you're actually doing shifts, but actually that shift pattern, doing that kind of shift pattern, may not be the best for that individual person. So I'm now going to go into some actions. I've covered a bit about, what can impact and trigger hormone hormonal migraine and what you can do. So now I'm going to talk about what you can do. So let's start off with nutrition. The first thing would be is to look at your sugar. Try to restrict refined carb, sugar, and processed foods. It's best to have a whole food, plant-based diet, but not everyone can do that or wants to do that. But it's just about trying to reduce the amount of meat that you have during the week. And the meat is more of an omega-6 and is quite inflammatory, so it's about reducing that. So maybe have it only twice a week. It does take longer and harder to digest meat, and it's so much better to try and get as much as green leafy um, plant-based vegetables in your diet throughout the week. It also helps with fiber and helps with excretion of waste. And what you really want is, because it's a hormonal thing and it's generally due to estrogen, that you want to be making sure that you're getting the excess estrogen out of the body. And then how you can do that is by making sure that you're eating enough fiber, which will then excrete and release the excess estrogen. So make sure that you do include as much dark leafy green vegetables in your diet, which can also act as a prebiotic, and it can also keep your liver in check. Because what you want is that your liver is operating and functioning as good as possible. Eliminating alcohol because it's full of empty calories and can also lead to migraines. And also what you want is that your liver is not getting backed up with trying to eliminate alcohol instead of eliminating the excess estrogen that you might have in the body. So, I'm not saying to give up, but eliminate as much as possible. Increase your omega-3s as they have inflammatory components such as flaxseed, nuts, seeds, algae, add to your diet so that you are having that anti-inflammatory effect. As we all know, hydration is key and king. So, because our body is 80% water. So what you want to be drinking is finding out your own levels. And I always say to people, work out your own 0.67 times your weight in pounds, and that will give you the ounces that you're meant to have, and then that will be all good for you. So reducing your exposure to xenoestrogen. So start to look at what you're putting on your skin. Has it got parabens, phthalates in it? Check it out. Your skin is the biggest organ that we have, and it's very porous. So anything that comes into contact with it will go inside directly into the bloodstream. So, like, even if we're always every day subjected to different types of chemicals. And the way that you can reduce that is by reducing ones that you are in control of. We're not in control of what's happening outside when we walk outside, but we're in control of what we put on our skin. So control the controllables, which are things like um, skin lotion, shampoos, conditioners, washing up liquid, washing powder, washing liquids. Look at those things and look if they've got parabens or phthalates in it, and just start to reduce those things in your diet because, well, it's not in your diet, but I mean, it's still on the outside of your skin, so it is kind of on your diet. So xenoestrogens are
mimic estrogen. So what you want to be doing is reducing that as much as possible because that adds extra estrogen to your body. Supplementation. Now, magnesium is number one. It's key, but Q10 is good as well, and B6. Those are the three that I would say, especially if you're having hormonal migraines. Magnesium is a very good balancing of hormones, and it really benefits you, especially if you're having migraines and if you're not taking it at the moment. So definitely, if you can only go for one thing, I would go for the magnesium, because magnesium not only benefits your migraines, it benefits your ability to go to sleep. Stress management. So this is the final key that I'm going to talk to you about today. And when it comes to migraines, there's definitely some strategies that you need to put in place, whether that's walking in nature, meditation, breathing techniques, keeping that stress hormone under control, as well as managing your estrogen. So trying to build in those kind of new lifestyle strategies or self-care strategies, you could say, those are definitely, and you know, in summary, you really want to be building things that are going to impact on your brain's sensitivity to change. So whether that be hormonally, sleep, or stress, you want to start to introduce some of these strategies. Now, I know that there's quite a few strategies that I said, and you may be doing some already and you may not be. But, if you come together and pull together your own little 90-day plan, over a 3-month period, each month you have 2 different strategies that you want to try to build in. And it's really about trying to build in these new habits. And, you know, once you start to build in small, manageable habits, that can make a change in terms of your migraines and in terms of how you feel. So, this is Jackie Grant, your healthy lifestyle advocate, granting you better health and fitness. Don't forget to subscribe. Click that subscribe bell